Good morning, 10:26 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast in the United States of America. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. As we can see, Bitcoin's starting to turn down a little bit here, and I have it in the 1 minute because I wanted to see how it was reacting in the very short term. And as we can see, it looks like it's fallen through, and this is a big 30-minute bearish engulfing candle, and it looks like that could have been nothing more than a fake out overnight. We did have some moves, some opportunities to make a little bit of money, but it wasn't like we had some 8 to 10. Shiba got listed on Robinhood supposedly, and that helped it have a pretty nice pump. It was up to like 27%, but it's starting to break back through now. We had some other ones, like I think Matic got listed on Robinhood, but the CPI comes out this morning and it didn't come out great. It was over what they anticipated, so that's never a good sign. Just reading through some of the stuff this morning, it's gonna be interesting, and I think we're having a little bit of a market-wide correction right now. It might just come down to double bottom back at the 39,300. We don't know, but right now breaking back down below 40,137 is a problem. If you're in Matic, I noticed this right off the bat. It hasn't finished the divergence in the 30-minute, but in the 1 minute, it's still trying to come down for further consolidation. So you're probably going to end up down here, maybe retesting this area. We're on the bottom side of the $1.43.2. And if this breaks, expect this divergence to complete right here. And then it could still complete a larger divergence here. That's the thing. Like, there's a larger divergence, but you're probably going to come down here and hit this support. So just don't be surprised if that happens. And as long as that area doesn't break, you're okay. I just wanted to say that right off the bat for anybody in Matic. Because you are going to have retests like this all the time when you start to break up. Now it's going to break down but it's a 1 minute divergence here. So after the 1 minute, you start to look at the other ones. Once this 1 minute divergence completes, now it breaks the 200-day and then it starts to drop here, ladies and gentlemen, and we can do it in real time. But once this divergence completes, if you were in a short position, you would close it. So around 138.2. If you were in one. I'm not saying anybody's in it, and you guys are watching me right now, so. But that's what you'd be looking at, so we'll keep an eye on that as this update progresses. XRP's down to 705. And you can see it's doing what I was talking about in Matic. A lot of these are. We'll go to the 30-minute time frame. It looks like we came up, and now we've pulled below a critical. We need to stay above 709 on XRP. It's that simple. We bounced beautifully off of 68 cents, but we must bounce off of, you know, that 709 in a positive direction. Otherwise, it's going to be an issue, ladies and gentlemen. So just pay attention to that. But it was a nice little pump, but it looks like a fake out this morning, unfortunately, for anybody who's in a position. It kind of looks like a fake out. Like, we're starting to come down pretty hard now. Look at Matic. This is what I was talking about if you were in it. Because the 1 minute's doing a bearish divergence, so you got to play this out. So now it's probably going to have a few more explosive moves down, guys. I don't think it's going to come much farther. Maybe, sorry, I'm trying to keep everybody on top of everything. I'm going to do a dual cast release on this update. So maybe another 2.77% down from Matic right here. We've got XLM that's come down. And this is what I'm saying. Matic seems to be copying what XLM is doing, and it's just a step behind. So if you look at it, it's still got to have another drop to finish this divergence. But it's getting closer, guys. That divergence is getting closer. And then you look at the 3 minute. Are we going to make another divergence? Ooh. Well, that's going to be close. That's going to be close. You play it one step at a time here with everything. But Bitcoin is definitely dropping. Now we go to the 3 minute on Bitcoin. And we created a bearish divergence in the 1 and 3 minute. Is the 5 minute have enough strength? 5 minute pulled through as well. So this could be something here. We could have something here. And I like to look at it like this, guys. So when you're doing it, so you start with the 1 minute. Okay, we came through. Bottom side of the 200 days. So likely this is coming down still for Matic. There can be retests, but this doesn't look great. It looks like it might want to come down and finish off this divergence. Well, it should finish the divergence. So you'll probably end up around here. 141 would be a conservative estimate to finish this divergence. But it's all going to come down to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin doesn't want to have any kind of bounce, but it's going to be interesting. This should be interesting. This is the part of the pattern where it gets interesting. So we'll continue to watch this as it unfolds. We've got DGB. And I'm just doing this in a in the moment style update so that we can see what's going on. As you can see, DGB started a 30-minute divergence and it finished at another time frames. But we are pulling through and finished a 1-minute bearish divergence. We're trying to finish it in the 3 minutes. So you cross the 20, cross the 50. So this is where we're just kind of consolidating here. Feels like all the patterns are consolidating, and it's going to be up to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is completing a divergence in the 3-minute. And now in the 5 minutes almost complete. So now we start to look at the 15. Well, it looks like after the 5-minute divergence ends, we have to start to go back up because everything's still a little bit off whack. So this very well could just pull us down to a double bottom here. It would not surprise me at all, ladies and gentlemen. So, and like I said, the rest of the market kind of correlates with this because they're showing little divergences in the 1 minute. And then we just have to start watching. Will Matic do it in the 3-minute, just like Bitcoin? It is rounding the top pretty hard, but it's going to have to pull through here to the down direction. Notice the 1-minute volume is slagging, which we already know it's coming through here, but I want you guys to see in real time how you can predict these charts in the smaller time frames. And watch these divergences complete. Like, what did I say? 141 roughly would be this completion on the Matic divergence right here. So it would have to come down with probably a volume spike right here now that it had 2 failed attempts up. Probably get a little volume boost to the downside. So we'll just see how that plays out by the end of this. I think it was at 144 roughly, 143.5 when we came on. And it's pulling down just a little bit. But I'm very interested because that, you start to watch Matic and then you come down here and you start to look at the rest of the chart and you're like, okay, well, we don't have very big gainers on here. So if Matic started to do that and some of the, look at these sell-offs you got on some of these when they finally pulled through their bearish divergence. So it's going to be tricky because if Bitcoin does continue to go down and can't find any volume here, and this 3-minute divergence is complete now and the 5-minute still isn't complete, that means we still have to come down more here. It might have to come down and tap here, but you just don't want to get caught up in, okay, well, you bought for one thing, and now you're like, okay, let's find the next divergence. Because all you're playing is divergence to divergence if you're in a smaller time frame. So the 1 minute played through. Now we're looking at the 3-minute, then the 5-minute. Can this continue to play through in a set kind of way to where it's going to go from bam to bam to bam, kind of boom, 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 boom. And that's what you're trying to figure out. And right now it kind of looks like it is, because Matic's starting to do the same as the rest of the market. I looked at XRP first, and XRP did this, and you see where it had the little struggle here when it was about to complete the bearish divergence. And then it had another nice push down, and now it's going to decide. That's kind of what I think is going on here. Matic had the push down, now it's trying to decide. Now it should have the push down to here, and then this should be the ultimate level where you guys should be looking at $1.41 if you want to make a decision on Matic, because it should come down to $1.41. It's not guaranteed, obviously, but it should. And just like XRP should, now that it broke that 709, it's a very likely probability that we're going to at least come back and test 70 cents. And then 68 at the double, we came down to 68,113 is the bottom right here. So there is chances, guys, that we could retest that. We could also, oh, this is perfect. Matic is retesting the 20-day. So now we're retesting the 20-day here. You don't have any increased volume. I'm trying to show you guys in real time so that we can understand the way of the market. Now right here, it's showing the 20-day. So can it get back on top of it, and can we make a run back to the top side is what you'd be looking for. With this volume profile, right now this is nothing more than a fake out. I know it's in the 1 minute, so it's weird to say a fake out. But I want you guys just to have a quick understanding of how this works. So we're predicting this to come down to $1.41, which means we have this retest of the 20-day, and if it fails this retest, now you're going to come down with a volume spike to the downside. That's all. Now, if you can get some volume going up, you'd be in better shape, because then you can reverse this divergence. But, this is what happens. It's an up and down, radical style game, and you try to figure out where the best possible entry point is. Now, with the rest of the market, Bitcoin started coming back up now a little bit here. So, but there's not really any volume. That's the problem. We're looking for a volume spike is what you'd be looking for right now to get out of this. Right? And I know this is a different kind of update, but don't you guys like to see in the moment what's going on sometimes? Like Bitcoin's fighting with the 40,000. All it's come right now in the 1 minute is come back up to this 20-day. If it fails the 20-day, then you get another explosive move. Well, not explosive, but in the smaller time frames, you will get another move back down. And if you start to go through the 3 minute, we completed a bearish divergence. The 5 minute, we're almost complete, but we're at a weird area where it looks like it probably won't have enough volume to pull up yet. But if we come down just a tiny bit farther, it likely will. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's caught up in a spot right now. So is Matic. It's in between. It just, if there's no volume here, Matic's just going to do one of these. I want everybody to see this as it plays out, and then I'll end the update. Because I want it to come down here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Because you use the 20-day as resistance, and then it usually pops up, comes like that, and then comes down to complete its divergence. Because you can see it's trying to complete the divergence, and now it's bouncing between the 20-day and the 200-day. And once it breaks the 200, you'll have the final move. And then that's where you can decide if you want to buy back in or not. That's what's going on right here, in my opinion. Obviously, I could be wrong, but we'll see here in the very short term. But I hope you guys appreciate the style update, because I want you guys to see exactly how the market works. And when I do it in the smaller time frame, sometimes you can see it. Now, Bitcoin's the same thing. If Bitcoin doesn't have any kind of volume here, it'll get rejected by the 20-day, right? And then it's going to come down and probably double bottom down in here. That's what it looks like we're trying to do here. It really does. And now we're testing the 20 as resistance. That's very well might be what's going on. Just like right now, Matic. It tested the 20-day. It pulled back down. And now we're going to see if I can complete this move like I was talking about. And I know it takes time, but you got to be patient. And then even in the 1 minute, guys, you get the fake out to the 20-day, right? And then it comes right back down. So anybody who bought here to long just got rejected, and now it's right back to their buy-in. And a lot of people leverage like 100x. So buying right here and then coming down, that could have liquidated somebody on 100x leverage. Just saying. So it's all a game of manipulation here. So that's Matic. We see Bitcoin came up to the 20-day, and now it's doing what we said. And I just want you guys to see this in real time, because this is what I can offer. Especially if you're scalp trading. Like, if you can understand the charts like this, it makes it a little bit easier to get in positions to scalp trade. It's just, it gets stressful. Because when you're doing leverage trades, it can get stressful. But yeah, so I have a lot of fun doing it like this. So we'll see if it can get back above this profile. But it looks like now that we're coming below the 20-day, we should probably come to $1.41. And then if you were in a short position, that would probably be, especially if you're on like a 20x leverage or something, that's where you would close it. And then you would take it again from there. Can it break the support level? Can we have a bounce back up? Because then you can start playing the short game, or the short to long game. But first we need it to finish this move. Because right now it's kind of in no man's land, to be honest with you. It's trying to fake the market out, but it's obviously showing us that it's going to come down. And it's very possible we could create another divergence here. You see that we had some nice volume here coming down. So that's, I just want you guys to see this finish playing out before I end this update. And I wasn't well, I guess I was expecting this. It's at that spot in the market where it's going to be fun to watch, because look, especially if Bitcoin gets rejected here, we already went to the 3 minute, and we can see it just created its bearish divergence. The 5 minute, it's trying to come, whoa, it came through. So that's interesting. So we could have a small move down here again before any kind of bounce back. That's why we're not getting any volume, because we're completing other divergences. But Matic will be easier to watch, so. And XRP, I like to go back and forth like we're watching this. But you see XRP is just like Matic getting rejected. We talked about this. It's a little bit behind, or pulled up. And now we're trying to see if we can have any kind of volume to stop XRP from falling back to 701. Matic, we're trying to see if we can get any volume to keep us from falling back down to 141. But that does seem like the logical fall down. I believe it would you're going to get some pressure to the downward side, because people are watching this in the shorter time frames. I guarantee it. And this is kind of like the right shoulder being built. You can see it. The M, tapping reversal, a little bit of, you know, but you're on the bottom side of that 143.2 support. So that's why when you're watching this, that's what makes it important. The fact you're on the bottom side of that support makes it very, very tough, which means that you're probably going to have downward pressure. You can already see the downward pressure building in the 1 minute. And when we had a chance to come back up, the volume was not very good. And this is like squeeze candles back and forth. Much easier to produce a sell candle here than buy candle, especially with Bitcoin, south side of 40,000. If Bitcoin just has a pull down here like it looks, this is getting dangerous now if you're in a long position, especially a high leverage long, especially if Bitcoin were to break up. I mean, break down. It's trying to hold this 20-day and not come down any farther. That's what's going on right now. Just like Matic's trying not to come down from 142.6. But the moment it gives this up at 142.2, it's going to have to come down here is my fear for anybody who's in a position. And it's not a huge move, but from right when we came on, you know, just with Matic coming down from here, it's come down 1.3%. For some people, they're in a position and that's it. They're not holding it past there, and I understand that. I just feel like it needs to finish this 1 minute divergence. It came all the way down here, and that's a pretty straight line. This just seems like the back and forth to where, you know, you're going to get, like I said, we came up to the 20-day to get rejected, and now it should finish its duty. It should finish what it has to do here. So we'll continue to watch that until this update's over. Bitcoin, like I said, now we're trying to test 40,000 as resistance again. And if this holds up, that's a problem. But there's no guarantee. It could have a candle that bounces right up. But if it ends up showing some downward pressure here, it could be a huge problem. Just like Matic. Matic's trying to hold up, but it keeps showing engulfing to the downside. So eventually you're going to get that giveaway candle. Especially if volume were to come. Uh-oh. This could be the giveaway candle that I was talking about. I know I haven't done an update like this in a while, but it's the perfect time in the market so I can teach you guys. And once this divergence completes, then we can end. So that's what we're waiting for, that divergence. And sometimes the divergence doesn't mean you go down farther. It means that you're going to double bottom here and show that we're about to reverse. But that looks like a pretty uniform pull down there. And in the 3 minute, unless this straightens out a little bit, this is going to maybe start a further divergence here, ladies and gentlemen. And now we're starting to see 142.3. If it breaks past this 142.2, this is where you could get a move farther down. And it's not showing very much upward pressure, so it kind of looks like that's what it's trying to do here. We're just using the market with the information it's giving us right now in a very small time frame. So if you're leveraging the market, you shouldn't be looking in the 30 minute. It should be nothing more than trading like this, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's to the point where, is it going to break this bottom? Now it's at that 142.2 double bottom perfectly. Now if it doesn't break that, now you might get that, you know, little reversal here, but I'm not convinced that it's not going to break that. But we're going to find out in a very short order right here. But that bearish divergence is practically completing with one more pull down. So it would be more likely that it would come down here. Even though it's not a big drop, maybe 1 cent. But it would make more sense for it to come down there. Especially with the downward pressure. And then at the completion of this move down to 141. Or if it can break through the 30 minute, I will end this update. But it just looks like that's the third attempt down if we can't, you know, the volume's dying up right here now, so. Oh. There, we broke it. Now it should come down to 141. I think that's what's going to happen now. It did give way, and I think the bearish divergence is going to finish its last little move. It usually does. When you see it, it usually does. This should push down to its final part of its target. Sometimes you get a big, not a huge one, but you'll get a sell volume like that finally after you get a lot of this hold candles here. It'll finally just give way and come down to its target. So That's what we're seeing right now. I mean, there's not much more to talk about. Shiba's come down. It's had a nice little pullback here in the 1 minute. But it's just completing its divergence, just like Matic. And Matic's trying. Matic's trying to pull back. It's just every time it gets a little bit of volume in this area, it's because it's on this divergence. So it's trying to finish its move to the downside. But there's these little sell candles that are interrupting it a little bit here. But this isn't unusual. This is, you get some people that buy in. You had somewhat of a double bottom here. It broke the structure barely. And if this candle were to fail, this is where, because this upward pressure keeps getting pulled back, you can see like we're probably going to come down to that 141 target. Unless we can get some major volume here, because these end up getting suppressed. But you also need to watch, because if it breaks the 30-minute, then it can make it interesting. I love watching it on the fly like this. And then you guys can also see the 20-day. You see we just crossed through it now. So could this be where we could be potentially starting a sneaky reversal on the 1 minute? The volume is just so low. If the volume stays like this would end up being rejected here at the 20-day. And you would get that fake W when it pulls like this, and then you would just come down anyhow. But you need some volume in these 1 minutes. That's a very low volume profile if it ends out like that. Don't be surprised to see a red candle in the next 1 to 2. This is where it can get dangerous if this candle squeezes to the downside. That's where you could get some downward pressure. See what Bitcoin's doing, because you always want to correlate it with Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin broke through the 1 minute, so we'll see what happens here. I love doing this. 22-minute update. You guys get to see it on the fly. 142.2 is kind of holding here, so maybe that is going to end up being the bottom here for a nice reversal back up. We don't know. It's all about this candle, guys. If this candle turns red, oh, they're trying to fight here. And if this gives away, the completion of the move after even that little fight would come down to 141, which is the target right now, which is what we've been waiting for. Not saying it's going to hit 100% perfect, but it did break out of a key level right there. So, all right, so let's see. Did XRP finish what we were talking about? I mean, XRP's close. It's very close. Because if it holds that level, it probably won't fall down any farther. Bitcoin, though, is the key. If this is creating an M, just like it did up higher, this could change things. Because if that pulls down and does that, that's going to bring the market with it. You guys know that. So that's another reason why I'm staying on here. I just want you guys to learn. And this is a good way to teach you guys. In the moment. And you can see how we pull down again. If we break that 143.2, that's where this becomes a problem in this area. And we didn't have very much volume on the kick up. And the pattern's unsure of itself right now if it wants to go down farther. And because if it goes down farther, then it creates a divergence in the 3 minute. And then that is how this topping reversal pattern might end itself. So we have the M. Right, we already had this fake up right there. Now we come here. Then we might bounce around here, and then we could come down here. So I said at 141, you could always... Well, I mean, it depends if you're in a position. But I would hold it until at least 141 and let this come down and do what it needs to do, in my personal opinion. So this is about as real of an update as I can give you to show you my abilities. A reason why you should join Tom's Army and the Dogecoin and You Army if you want to swing trade with me. I can do swing trading, you know, it's harder to do swing trading like this in the short direction, especially if you're using leverage. It's harder to have a bunch of people doing it. I like to do my swing trading to the long side because then more people, you know, are buying their positions. They understand they're not leverage trading. I don't advise anybody to leverage trade unless you really know what you're doing. I mean, really know what you're doing. Now we're down to 141.8, so looks like we're heading towards our target here. It really does. We're just waiting for that big candle burst. But at least you guys can see what we were talking about, how this plays out in the 1 minute. And then we should get to our target. Slowly but surely. Okay, so now let's check XRP 703. So you can see XRP is breaking down towards the target we put on in the beginning of this update. We thought we would have to come back down and retest 701. Bitcoin, we're waiting to see if it will pull down and have our target more of a double tap hit here. Right? If it can come down there, that's what we're looking for. And then like we said from the beginning with, where were we at? Matic's at 141.8. We're looking for this to pull down to 141. And we have looks like a bearish engulfing candle here. So it looks like we could get down to our target here actually on the air. And yeah, it's slow. In the 1 minute, it takes time. But if you're, if you're paying attention, it's all about completed. I mean, we got 0.9 cents to go now. We've had a little bit of a pull up here. You really we want to see follow through with this candle. This would be the good candle to have follow through with now that we broke the 1 minute. What's it looking like in the 3 minute now? Ooh, we could be starting a bearish divergence in the 3 minute now as well. So we'll see how this reacts to $1.41 because this really looks like it could come down farther than that. We might be hunting $1.38 again. But I like to take it one step at a time, ladies and gentlemen. Because it really all comes down to Bitcoin. Matic does need to get some volume in here, though. Otherwise, it's going to get itself caught up and end up at $1.41. I just want it to go to $1.41 so we can complete our move. It almost got there. We got the 141.6. Not quite there yet. These are two candles trying to move up. It's just, if you don't get a lot of volume here and break up, you're going to end up pushing to that target, and it's going to have no choice. Because you have that downward pressure to that target. It's just a heavy support area right there. I think it's at a good spot. Give it credit, though. It's trying. Uh-oh. There's another engulfing candle down. What's the 3 minute look like? Ooh. Yeah, it looks like we could be starting with something here. For Matic. Matic looks like it could be starting something even bigger. Be a good way to end this update with it coming through the 3 minute as the 1 minute finishes our divergence. It's going to be a photo finish here. Come on, Matic. Come on down so I can end this update. Completed divergence in the 5. And the 15 is pulling back out. If the 20 pulls back through the 50 on there, it's going to be an issue. Matic looks like it doesn't want to finish this move. It's just there's no volume. And it really is about to start a divergence there in the 3-minute. Holy moly. So let's see, there's still not very much upward pressure here again. Every time we get this candle, it's almost like it wants to come down to that 141. Oof, that's some weak volume there. What's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin can't make its mind up either. That could be what's hurting Matic. Matic can't make up its mind because of Bitcoin. So on Matic, I had a short position. I was 20xing it. And I closed out 75% of the position at 141.6, up 27%. And I left 25% open to see if we can get to the $1.41. I was up 200. Let me see if I can pull this back up. Oh, I gotta wait because I'm not completely out of the trade yet. But I got in at, let's see, sold out at $1.4169, and I bought in for $1.4401. So, and I still have 25% of the position open. I was up 27% while you guys were watching me on air. So that was a good trade. And then for anybody who wants some verification to know that I actually did that. So, yes, look at my hair. It is crazy this morning. See how it looks in the morning? So you guys are going to have to see the crazy hair. So that's what I did this morning. That's where I entered. And then I had a whole... Let me see if I can flip this camera. This looks crazy. If anybody's even watching this, though. I mean, this has been 34 minutes, but there's a reason why I did it. So, you guys get to see my messy laundry room. So that's where I started. $1.44. And then I had it filled, right? I did a bunch of them. Around $1.44, $1.43 too. And then I sold at $1.4169 for 27% on 75% of it. The other 25%, I'm trying, as you guys can see. Where's this at? I started with like $813. So this is up 29% right now. Just what I still have in here. But you guys seen I sold 75%. My liquidation price is 147. It's at 141.55. My target was 141. And I sold 75% out at 141.6, up 27%. And I was already up. So now Assets, I had $811 before this trade. Now we have $1,054 as of right now. 788's available because that's what I sold out on. So that's what we're looking at. And that is how you can make quick money shorting the market, but you have to pay attention. So that's just the end of that trade. Where is this at? As you guys know, so it's up 27% right now, and let's see where Matic's at. So it's almost down to the target right now. Like I said, 75% sold out, up 27%. And then the rest of it, I'm trying to get down to $1.41. It's just, we're feeling a little bit of resistance in this area, so I like to take my sure money, especially in a 20x leverage. Got in at 144, out at 141.6, and then 25% is still riding, and it's up 27.16%, or $55.27 at this point, with the 262 left in here on the 20x leverage. The other money I had in here, the other 700 and something, I was up 200 and something dollars when I cashed out, and while I was doing the update. So I'm up about $315 or 28% this morning on $813 that was 20x. So good start to the day. Stay blessed, everybody.